Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm not going to use a mic because this is a small room and I have a big voice. So hello. Thank you guys so much for coming today. It's 9:30, so I want to just go ahead and do some quick remarks and then introduce our first speaker. Thank you guys for coming. This is amazing. It's so awesome to see y'all here. This is the 2026 Washington Gleaners Conference. My name is Sarah. I coordinate the Washington Gleaning Network at Harvest Against Hunger, which is based in Seattle. That's David there. He's awesome. Talk to him. So this year's theme is Growing Connections, which is what we're doing here in the room. If you look around, this is community, right? So amazing. Thank you so much for coming. And just want to take a second to go over some housekeeping here. So first of all, Megan, who is there in the middle in the white shirt, is amazing. I'm singling you out. HopeLink has generously offered us this space for today. So thank you. Thank you. They're closed on Fridays, so if you guys go out, the doors will lock. So let somebody know you're going out. Have a plan. The lady with the wonderful red hair in the blue shirt here is Jen. She will let you in and out, so feel free to let her know. Coffee and tea are here and breakfast stuff, so please help yourself. Okay, in your bag that you got when you checked in, there are a few different things. There is a agenda there for what's going on today. There's also a bingo card. So we're playing bingo, and I will have Leanne come up and talk about the bingo because she put it together. Come on. Oh, hey, that's a great idea. And the bingo card is also your raffle ticket, and Leanne will talk more about that. So do gives you a chance to kind of go around and meet people, but also to win something kind of fun. So this is Leanne, and this is the mic, and it works to the little tiny text.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Leanne from Skagit Gleaners, and just as a connection piece to meet more people, we wanted to put together a little activity. So we have a bingo card in there, and you'll let us know when it's time to go around and do that.
We're going to do it at the end of lunch.
Awesome. So yes.
12:45.
Perfect. So yeah, so when lunch is over, we'll get back into things and do our bingo, and then we'll collect those and we will use those for a drawing. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, awesome. And then a bit more housekeeping. The bathrooms are out that door to the left. Some of you have found them already. Talked about the door locked food. Lunch starts at 11:45. Everything's on your agenda. So I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the people who made this possible today behind the scenes. So Faith came all the way from Bellingham. She's created this beautiful communal art project that you guys will work, and you can talk about it in a minute. And you'll find pieces of that in your swag bags, and you're kind of given them at registration as well. Ursula dove really deep to find donations, and we are so thankful for her for these fantastic cookies that you'll see at lunch. Leanne kept everything running and is so great. She has like a calm, competent grace, and she's wonderful. She put together the human bingo. And Megan is our partner at HopeLink, and from the very beginning, she's been here with us. So thank you so much. Want to make sure that everybody has everything they need. So if you need anything, feel free to reach out to me. And anyway, please join me in thanking. Make some noise for. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so with that, we're gonna get started. Do you want to talk about the art project real quick, and then? Oh, she's great. We're going to collect them, and you can either bring them to me because I was out here, or put them in the white stove back there. If you want to know what weight is up, if you look at the number that's on the back, you flip it over, and that will be your top. So I wrote it the same way. And then if you could get that to me by lunchish, end of lunch. Bring the last flip together. So there's no like real rules to it. We're just trying to capture kind of what the leading looks like across the state. So, if you have any questions. Thank you, Faith. Thank you. All right, so I want to introduce our first presenter this morning. This is Erin from Bow, Washington. She grows blueberries. She's amazing. She's going to share her reflections on how gleaners and farm owners can work together more effectively with kind of a focus on communication and what kind of success actually looks like in practice. So this is a conversation I think a lot of us really need, and I'm really glad that Erin is here today. So with that, I will turn it over.
I have a mic. I have your clicker. So just a minute, I'm going to switch presentations. Okay. Well, hello. During the school year, I'm a school counselor, so I pop into middle school classrooms all the time. So I have to say that this morning, I am relieved to not see any middle schoolers in the audience. Yeah, no middle schoolers. Yeah, it's totally different to be able to speak to adults, and it's a wonderful blessing. So thank you for being here. Gleaning is very dear to my heart, and you'll learn why. But I was honored to ask to speak today by Sarah. Leanne, I might ask Leanne, who is the gleaning coordinator for Skagit Gleaners, to pop in once in a while because she and I work very closely together in order for this successful relationship to work. So to have a little bit of an icebreaker, please take a moment to answer these fun blueberry questions for discussion. Now, I know I'm not talking to middle schoolers. Middle schoolers would have no problem with this activity. They would have they would have an excuse to pull their cell phone out. They would know to get to the camera. They would know that they need to put the camera in front of this. It will link to a Chrome. So please, if you need to get close, you just take your phone. It's so funny, all the generational teaching styles. You just get your camera, you get up close to the QR code, it'll say open in Chrome or open in Safari or open in DuckDuckGo. You will open it up and it will ask you some questions. So there's about 15 questions on menti.com that you will answer. Like the very first one says, on a scale of 1 like to 5 love, how much do you enjoy eating blueberries? And then you'll hit submit, and there'll be a series of, I think, 14 or 15 questions. So if you are stressed out and you want the answers, they're on your blueberry facts, or just guess. It's super fun to guess on these surveys. So just take a few minutes to take the survey. I'm going to take it too, and then we'll look at our results as a whole group. Oops. Next question. You hit submit. You might need to hit next question. Yeah, hit next question. Yes, if it's asking you the same question, just hit next. Then if you're not doing the survey, you can read your facts. Hit next question if you already answered the question. This is the middle schooler learning experience nowadays. Interactive, digital. I love this. Well done. And then if it gets to the Mentimeter, thank you for joining. That means you're done with your survey. How would you do, Faith? Did you navigate it okay? Yeah. Easy peasy. Yeah, I know. Me too. Me too, actually. I was like, oh. If you get done early, read your blueberry facts. How are you doing, Jen? You doing okay?
Yeah.
Learning how to take a survey online with, you know. Raise your hand if you're still doing the survey. Anyone still doing it? Okay. Okay, so we're going to go through this survey. This is where your real-time answers. So on a scale of 1 like to 5 love, how much do you enjoy eating blueberries? 19 of you love it. 6, 4, 3, they're okay. 1, all right. So one interesting fact about my family is I have 5 children, and my 4th son will not eat blueberries. So we live on a blueberry farm, and he will pick them, he will sell them, and he will not eat them. So I am hoping, like my relationship with tomatoes growing up, I now love tomatoes, but when I was younger, I did not like them. So saying a prayer for little Jed that he will like blueberries. Yeah, come around. Let's see if I can present. Blueberries are actually native to North America. They are wild. They were not cultivated until the 1910s, like 19 teens time. So 23 of you, yes, true. 6, you will learn. They are native. So this clicker is being kind of finicky. So I have to just use the keyboard. There you go. Okay. Have you used fresh or frozen blueberries in your baking or cooking? Yes. Can too. Muffins, bread, syrups, not that much. Muffins, pancakes, yogurt parfaits. Yeah, all the time. Oatmeal and blueberry pancakes. Yes. Pies, cobblers, scones, smoothies, salads. Ooh, very adventurous. Frozen blueberries every morning in my oatmeal. Yes, I have a large group of people that come and they freeze massive baggies, and 365 days of the year they use my blueberries on their oatmeal. So that's pretty fun. Blueberry plants can live up to 70 years. So well done, 100% on that. The plants that are on our property were planted in 1947. So they're they're grandpa berries. You can cut them down and then they'll regenerate, and that's one way to keep the heirloom blueberries. Bow Hill Blueberries, which is a commercial company down the road, has the same blueberries as me that were also planted in 1947. Yes, so you click. Blueberries are one of the few naturally blue foods. It's pretty cool. You can click. Blueberries are grown in 38 states. So I will show you a map in the presentation, but the major 10 states, the 10 of the states produce 98% of the blueberries, and we are one of them, Washington State. Did you know United States is the world leader in blueberry production, harvesting over 320,000 tons in 2023. So the U.S. is amazing blueberry. They're native, so they're abundant, and we've learned to cultivate them in rows. Have you picked blueberries from a blueberry plant before? 25 of you. Yes. 3 of you. No. You should see Leanne after the presentation. Those do not raise your hand. No, just joking. And you should go see Leanne, and she will write down your name, and you can come pick as many blueberries as you want this summer at the Bow Farmhouse for free. So that's my gift to you. That if you are one of the 3, see Leanne. Leanne, raise your hand, and you can come. It is a joyful experience. I was one. I would have guessed. I would have rated no 5 years ago before I bought my farm. I owned a pear orchard in Zillow, Washington. Had never been a blueberry farmer, so I would actually have answered no 5 years ago. So pretty cool. Where have you picked blueberries? Oh, the Bow Farm, Snohomish County, Bow Farmhouse, Spokane Valley in New Jersey. Ooh, that's way cool. That's where they originated. Kitsap County. I think I can scroll. Will you scroll the and see if I can? I don't know. Oh yeah, my backyard. Oh, that's so cool. My little garden, commercial up, U-Pick Farm and grandmother's house, Chelan, Bellevue, public parks. Ooh, public parks. That's cool. Bow Farmhouse, my home, friend's garden. That's pretty cool. Look at all those. Bellevue Lakes at commercial U-Pick. Really cool. Bow, Linden, Bellingham, very popular. Linden has mass production of blueberries. Elizabeth White, she's one of my cool heroes. She was single her whole life. She was her dad's daughter. She took over his cranberry farm in New Jersey, and when she found these wild blueberries in just the forest and stuff, she started hiring farmers to go pick different varieties, and when she would get them, she would pay them a fee, and then she would name that blueberry plant after the person. So on my property, I have Collins, named after a guy named Collins, Rubles, named after a guy named Rube. So the varieties were named after the original heirloom, at least heirloom, not GMO type blueberries, were named after the farmer. So they were actually picked in the 1900s, like 1916 is when she started that. She got together with a scientist. She needed somebody from the university to help her figure out how to cultivate it in rows and stuff. Washington State is not one of the top producers of blueberries. That is false, correct? We are one of the top 10 producers. Blueberry harvest machines shake the blueberries off the plants. That is true. I had no idea. The harvester goes up and over the plant, and it goes through it like a car wash, and it has these wands, and the wands vibrate. And they just vibrate through the row. And then during the second picking, they'll run the machine again through the row, and it literally shakes the plant, and the berries drop onto the belts, and then the belts run them to the bins. So that's how you can also hand pick them, obviously, but the harvest machine is very effective. Blueberries are high in which vitamin? Vitamin C is correct. I'm sure they have B vitamins too, and that's our blueberry farm. So the Anderson brothers, they farmed this whole Bow Hill up and down, and they had blueberries over here and here. And then in 2010, they subdivided these plots of land, and like somebody built a house here, and the previous owners of my house built a house here, and then somebody built a house here. And so you can see they kind of chunked off these blueberry fields. Some people just cut the blueberry plants down, but Bow Hill Blueberries created a company, and the people who bought my land, they kind of just let them fall for a while, and then for 10 years, and then when we bought it, we started a farm. Blueberries were called what for the shape of the fruit by indigenous peoples? Respond to this fact below. They were actually called starberries for the star on the top. They still are often called. Top 10, only 10 states comprise 98% of blueberry production. Guess which one of the top 10 states? Yes, very good. Most of those are correct. And I'll show you a map on my presentation. So people inputted these answers right here. Very good. Washington is really big on that survey because people put Washington the most. So those types of surveys will magnify the most answers. So whoever answered the least, it's a small word. There are over 100 varieties. Okay, this was a hard question. I should have phrased it different. There's actually over 400 varieties of blueberries now. So this is actually indeed, I meant it to be false, but it is actually true because over 400 is also over 400. After taking the survey, what is one word or phrase that you think of when you think of picking blueberries? So here, most people said yum. The next biggest said delicious. Then more people said yummy. And then the smaller amount said blue. Yes, please. Starberries. Yes, antioxidants, native, mouth-watering, abundant, sunshine-filled day, popular, intentional. Big deal. So that's the end of that. So that was kind of fun. Raise your hand if that's the very first interactive survey you've taken. Okay, welcome to the next generation of learning. Yeah, so, okay, so back to my presentation. This is where I actually get to talk to you a little bit about my relationship with Skagit Gleaners. That's who I partner with. So like you know, my name is Erin Slagg. I have 5 children. Their ages are, do not gasp, please don't gasp. These are their ages. Their ages are 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. The oldest 4 are boys, and the youngest is a girl. I'm a teaching and school counseling certificates in Washington State, so I'm super busy, just like a lot of the farmers that you might work with Gleaners. They have jobs outside of their farms, and so they're really busy working. And then this is kind of a joy. So I work as a full-time school counselor in Marysville. That gives me the summers off to farm. I love the outdoors. Random fact, I've never had a TV or gaming console in my house for my children. So if you can raise kids without a TV and gaming console, you can do anything, I guess. So you can run a blueberry farm. So there are people out there that still haven't succumbed to full technology. So we're down here in Redmond. So if you take I-5 north past Mount Vernon, Bo is in this wonderful place, which we call the Magic Skagit. Really nice, fertile land. My property borders a slough, which is perfect, like cranberries and blueberries. It really likes that wet soil. So that's where Bo is. I'll zip past. Oh, these are the top 10 states of blueberry production: Washington, Oregon, California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, New Jersey, Michigan, and Minnesota. They like these climates a lot. So they started here with Elizabeth White, and they found climates over here that they really liked too. So is 12 miles north of Mount Vernon, 19 miles south of Bellingham, and 73 miles north of Seattle. I have a website that you can check out more pictures of us farming, and please come by. It's super fun. You'll get to see a lot of different media of what we do. These are glimpses of the farm. So how I sell my blueberries is I sell for-profit blueberries out of this little trailer right here, and people pick for profit. These are my 5 kids right here, and they help all the time. They learn lots of good skills. Sorry. There's 2 types of blueberry bushes. There's high bush, so most of the bushes I have are you can't touch the top of them. That's how tall these bushes are. And then we also have some low bush blueberries. So high bush can go to 6 to 12 feet tall, and the United States is the #1 producer of high bush because those are native. And so we started the cultivation, so you'll see lots of high bush. However, Canada figured out that low bush berries are a lot easier to pick and run a commercial picker over, so they're the #1 producer of low bush, and they're mostly found in commercial fields because it's really hard to farm the berries that I have because they're huge, and it's a lot of work. So the history of my Bo Farmhouse was, like I told you, it was farmed as an industrial blueberry farm pre-picking. So teenagers were hired to handpick the blueberries. I will have 50 and 60-year-olds, grandparents come back to the farm, and they will bring their kids to pick in the exact same location, the exact same plants that they picked. So it's pretty cool. I alluded to this, that the Anderson brothers owned acres of blueberries, and then they subdivided the land and private citizens purchased, and our home was built in 2010, and then I began the Bo Farmhouse in 2020. So we've had 4 seasons of U-Pick and 3 with Gleaners. Oops, sorry, too fast. I personally partner with Skagit Gleaners. I adore the community partnership that I have with my community. There's a large network of people. So if I can partner with Skagit Gleaners knows way more people than just me, a mom in my community. So I have a straight avenue in order to get a lot of resources out to my community. I have a personal faith orientation that makes giving and stewarding my own resources really high on my priority list. I enjoy partnering with Skagit Gleaners. I mean, being around their attitudes of gratitude is amazing. I'm around kids all day, so if That's one part of my job that I really enjoy with Skagit Gleaners, is just working with the children, helping them experience the land and the joy and the appreciation of what Earth can give us. And I really want to reduce my blueberry waste. Bow Hill Blueberries would like to lease out my land, and I have delayed that because I really think Skagit Gleaners is a critical organization to continue providing blueberries to. So that's a thank you letter from one of the gleaners. So these are three of my favorite views. So this is after I helped a gleaning family, and I was waving goodbye to a mom and her little son, and he stopped and he kind of didn't want to say goodbye. So this is a gleaning family that came. This is the previous gleaning coordinator's daughter, so you can kind of see my Skagit gleaning signs in my little RTV, and it's just there's a joy. So if you ever get nervous about partnering with someone and you think I'm asking too much of them, I think I can just speak from my experience, but for the most part, these people are going to benefit from the vast human resources that are going to be shared with them, including the joy and the love and the care. When I think of summer, I think I can't wait to meet new gleaners. I can't wait to see the gleaners that come back every year. So if you hesitate to reach out to someone to get some of their resources, please know that we want to share. We want to have a network, and we receive a lot of joy from it. And then when I'm sitting at my for-profit table and I have my coffee because it's early, I'm always looking which people are going to come into my parking lot, which ones are gleaners and which ones are not. And so those are my favorite views. Sarah hosted this regional event. Yes, Sarah. Where is Sarah? Yes, Sarah, you did, right? Sarah hosted this regional gleaning event where gleaners from different parts of the state came and picked at, and we hope to continue that this year. So yeah, so if you're one of the leaders of a gleaning organization, I would like to open up my farm to another event like this. This was the Skagit Herald that we were featured on. And there's Leanne and Sarah. I don't think you made this. You're disguised. You're totally disguised. That's great. Anybody else from this picture here? Faith is. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, it's so fun to see generations. All grandparents, parents, and grandchildren come to the farm together. Oh, that's really special. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so communication is really important. So as a farmer who owns my land and pays taxes and gets worried about insurance, those are real life worries of a private farmer. It's really important for me to communicate with Leanne, communicate with Morgan. When we communicate, we increase positive relationship building. When we communicate together, it provides processing time for both the glean staff and the farmer. So if I like to talk to them way before gleaning season starts, and then I like to touch base with them again, maybe a few weeks later, a month later, like, what else are you thinking about? What weaknesses do you see? How do we need to improve? It might feel like excessive, but I have found that like regular communication spread apart gives me time to process, like, what else do we need? Regular communication protects both the farmer and the gleaners. A few years back, I had an irrigation hole in my grass. So regularly, there's lots of holes on farms. And the gleaning coordinator said, hey, can we put a cone over this? And I'm like, yeah, I did not even know that was there. Like, I didn't know that hole was there. I'm sorry. She's like, that's okay. So if I let them on my land a lot and I talk to them, I can find areas where I don't see, danger. We communicate to identify areas of improvement regularly, like, hey, people are pulling into my driveway. They're pulling into my driveway and they're gleaning right next to my house. That's fine, but we really want to move them to the parking lot. What should I do? Should I put some signs on my gate? That has really helped. Should I produce the signs? Do you want to produce the signs? It's this cooperative relationship of how can we respect each other's boundaries? How can we maximize giving produce to the community? And then communicating a sign's responsibility, like opening the gate. So, hey, I realized I'm opening the gate now. Your directions say for gleaners to open the gate, but my farm opens at 8:30 and you guys don't come till 9, or vice versa. Gleaners are opening the gate and now I have you pickers. There's this just, hey, let's communicate. Then we have to rewrite some directions, things like that. Leanne, is there anything you're thinking as I talk? You're good? Nothing's popping in your head yet? Okay. These are Skagit gleaners at the blueberry fields. This is our gate. Gleaners will open and close the gate. Methods to communicate. So right away, email is great. Some people, it depends on your generation, they don't want to email, they want a phone call. So I will sometimes phone call. I love email and I love in person. Phone calls are not the best for me because I have really loud kids, and then I feel like I'm disrespecting people when I talk on the phone with them, or I have to leave my kids, and then who knows what's going on. And so it's very beneficial for me, but each person might vary. So you might want to say like how do you like to be communicated with best? And so email and in person is very good for me, and it's very beneficial for initial stages of relationships responding to emails, because people don't like, sometimes they don't want to go talk in person, but they'll shoot you an email and they'll be like, I've got acres of whatever. So make sure that you respond to those emails and be responsive. Another effective method is just walk around the property. It's really important to get the private farmer and the gleaning coordinator together at the property, walk around, to build relationship, but also just figure out, what do we have? What do we need? What's here? Can we even use this product? Another effective method is multiple visits over a period of time to allow for processing. I touched on that, and also understanding that relationship and partnerships, they will have bumps along the way, and they'll take grace. So like I said, I felt super embarrassed that I didn't see that hole. The gleaning coordinator, they were fine. They're like, it's okay. It's okay. We found it. I have a swing set on my property. I have a playground, little playground. I have a trampoline. We didn't have signs up. So when you're a gleaning kid, everything's free reign. This is, I was like, oh, I have kids on the trampoline the first summer. Okay. I do not want any of them to break their neck and sue me. No, not that they would, but these are the thoughts that go through so let's talk about, okay, we need a better map. Okay, we need to maybe put a sign that says private property off limits. Boundaries are good. Boundaries help the relationship stay positive and people to feel they're respected. And so as a property owner, it's okay. It's okay to have boundaries, and it's okay for gleaners to give me boundaries. Oh, see, it's tricky. It's slow. Erin doesn't do slow very long. Okay. Okay, that probably would be best. We'll try that. Okay, farmer considerations, effective proactive thinking. So if you have a farm, you might need transportation for elderly and young families. So do you have the ability to move people of limited mobility? I have an RTV. I'm able to transport elderly to the fields because they're quite a ways away. They're almost a quarter mile away. And so it's important to know, can we get people to where they need to go? Parking, do you have safe and large enough place for gleaners to park? Where do you want them to park? Where do you not want them to drive? So I have really old irrigation, so I might not want them to drive on certain areas, or you might have septic systems that you don't want them to drive over. That's an important conversation. And lastly, buckets and supplies. Will the farmer provide buckets or supplies to borrow, or will gleaners need to project a budget? So Leanne and I have worked on that. They borrow my buckets. And they also buy buckets each year. They're like $35, $40 a bucket with harnesses. And so they're spending capital. This is a lot of capital for gleaners to also use my berries. And then, can gleaners leave table and supplies under a tarp? Can they leave tarps? Can they leave stuff? Is that okay? Let's talk about this. Would it get stolen? These are just kind of ongoing conversations to have with the property owners. And also porta potty. I have a porta potty on site, so that's also something, if they're going to be there long periods of time, who's responsible for the porta potty payment? Is it me? Is it you? Is it split? Things like that. We created a map, so it seems really confusing, but gleaners park here. We figured out they park here, and then they walk, and we decided the gleaning table needed to be where they could see the parking lot, but they wouldn't allow them past. So we kind of had to talk about the gleaning table, and then they have to walk to the fields that are okay. Now, obviously, there's a lot of off limits, like the hazelnut field and the house. Unfortunately, the swing set is right when you walk by. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, parents. Additional opportunities to partner. So my time's getting short, but I wanted to briefly touch on this, that it's also important that the farmers you work with have real jobs, and you can use those real jobs to share about your gleaning network. Morgan Curry, the director of Skagit Gleaners, who's here in the back, she came and she spent time in my classes telling students about gleaning. They don't know about gleaning. There might be a stigma around gleaning that she can reduce, and so the Skagit Gleaners has done field trips to my classroom, and then students have gone to Skagit Gleaners. So I'll show you a little. Oh yeah, will you click? Well, that's probably more effective. So this is a 6th grade class that went to Skagit Gleaners. They learned about how to sort. They learned what's good fruit, what to keep. They broke down boxes. The saying, many hands make light work, is really true here. These are more pictures of gentlemen. This is my 14-year-old son. He was 12 here. But yeah, they took a bus to Skagit Gleaners. Some of the gleaning staff first talked to them about what we need. They helped separate supplies into different containers, and they put them in the coolers. These are both blueberries, or the Bow Farmhouse blueberries in the gleaning market there at Skagit Gleaners. That was a fun picture. This is Morgan. She is talking to my students at the warehouse and market, telling them about how it works. Here she is in my classroom telling them about the Galleria, which is a clothing and household item store at Skagit Gleaners, which is amazing. And then here she is telling them about food justice, about why she does Gleaners. And now it's question and answer time, and you have 6 minutes, ready to go. No. Are there any questions for Leanne, who's the gleaning coordinator, with me, or for myself as a private farm owner? This is my first time speaking to a gleaning organization, so any feedback is welcome. Yes?
It sounds like Skagit Gleaners comes in when they, so it's a slightly different model than a lot of I've heard about in gleaning, where it's not just a one-off, like we glean on this day.
So we have a spreadsheet. We have days of the week. We have hours. So it's like 3 or 4 days a week. We have people sign up on the Excel spreadsheet. So it is a little bit of a different model. You're right. That's good. Really good point. That I open my field up not just during gleaning time, but during the whole season of blueberries. Yeah, great clarification. But maybe that might be something even with small gleans. Leanne does a really good job of having an interactive Excel spreadsheet where you can go in and you can sign up as a gleaning lead, and you can schedule hours during that time. So if you don't have that, it's been really effective for her to have something where you can sign up to be a gleaning lead.
The farmers I work with, they near the end of the season when they have a lot left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been something where you also notice you have more to glean or more need for it.
Yeah, I have more. I would like to network in more resources. So maybe that's something now that I talked to Faith about from Bellingham, because we're really close to her. But there's an abundant amount of blueberries on the property to glean. And Leanne and I have talked about that. Like maybe we need to do a public event during peak blueberry seasons to get a lot of people in and teach them about gleaning. So yes, that you bring up a good point. Abundant blueberries is great, but it also is not great if you're in a gleaning mindset where you're trying to get as much off the bush as possible. Yeah, those are great questions.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this is usually a 4 to 6 week situation, so it is a lot of pre-planning. And I know a lot of people do call us and they're like, "Hey, I have apples that I need to get off the tree like today." So it's both situations, but I really appreciate this relationship because we can pre-plan a lot of it. And then if we need to try to get more people there, then we can figure out ways. But yeah, it's 4 to 6 weeks of 5 days a week. We're out there a lot. So
I think some of the same principles are good. Like, how do you want to be best communicated with? Are there any hazards you want us to know about? Is there any place you want us to avoid? I think those kind of communication principles are really helpful for small gleans as well too. Yes, sir. Time. Any more questions? Yes.
You do for-profit and you support gleaning.
Yes. Same property. Yeah.
Is there any financial benefit as a grower to go through gleaning? Do you claim any financial benefit through that?
So when I itemized my tax returns the first few years, there was not enough. My tax accountant said there's not enough to really claim it. Like you would need a lot. But this past year, Morgan Curry and she gives me a stipend per pound. So this past summer, I received a stipend per pound of blueberry, and it paid my property taxes for the land, not my house. But every 3 years, I apply to put my land into a farm ag tax bracket. I have to show profit, and so now I'm able to show profit as well. I did before, but it was kind of harder. I had to save a ton of cash receipts and stuff. But yes, it's I do. It was donation only for several years, and now it's a small stipend. Yeah, but it's very beneficial. So that might be, farmers might want to advocate for that. I didn't need to for a long time.
You get a stipend from schedule. I just asked.
Morgan can kind of talk to that per pound price.
It's pretty I will say it's very but work with Erin for 4 to 6 weeks a year, and we clean from 20,000 pounds of blueberries. We thought it was reasonable to be able to help offset, make it a mutually beneficial relationship where we can help offset any type of might have, because she couldn't use the land out to the farmhouse, but she used it to let us come and so any way that we could help offset some of that property tax is more beneficial to us and cheaper for us.
It also covers the porta potty fee. It covers any of the diesel mowing fees to mow the land. It covers any of the pruning fees, things like that. So it's a very helpful stipend. I'm not using my school counseling paycheck to facilitate Skagit Gleaners. So, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Erin.
Thank you. Yes, Jeff.
So Erin said she would be able to hang out for a few minutes in case you guys have questions. I'm going to get this AB thing set up for in a couple minutes. We're going to have hear from Jim in like just a couple of seconds. So just hang out for a few minutes and we'll get right back to you.